Just think of all the lifestyle advice there is around, eat better, sleep better, lose weight, get some exercise. But it's not enough to tell you just to do a bit more. You've got to be a bit more prescriptive than that. One of the most significant problems that shortens our lives is not so much about being fat, it's where we lay down that fat. And then the question is, what's the best way to get rid of it? Casey Barros has been investigating.
When it comes to the battle of the bulge and losing weight, we tend to focus on our diet. Some of us resort to diet pills or even risky surgeries, looking for a quick fix. But Professor Helenius says when it comes to abdominal obesity, there's something much more important that needs our attention. It's physical activity on prescription, and it's something that the Swedes are famous for.
We have seen a change in fat distribution, so today abdominal obesity is much more common than it was 10, 20, 30 years ago. And that's true for men, for women, and also for children. Very closely associated to abdominal obesity is high blood lipids, high blood glucose, blood sugar, a high blood pressure, and that's the metabolic syndrome.
So what's dangerous about it?
Well, I call it a modern health threat because it's so common and it's associated to an increased risk of cardiovascular disease, myocardial infarction, stroke, but also some common cancers. And I shouldn't forget type 2 diabetes, of course, but also depression, dementia, even Alzheimer's dementia. And there are even ongoing intervention studies all over the world showing that we can retard the decline in cognitive function that comes with age and also comes with disease.
Professor Helenius' team has also been measuring something called telomere length. Telomeres are the end of chromosomes, and it's thought their length is related to our health and a key measure of aging. So in theory, the longer your telomeres, the longer you'll live.
So after a dialogue with my patient, we talk about what kind of physical activity, the duration, how often, and so on. And this might be a prescription, a referral to a gym, but it can also be about, for example, walking 30 minutes a day. So it's like, I use it like a pill, but it is about physical activity.
And what types of exercise are we talking about here?
Anything goes. But I think it's about three things. Today, we really emphasize to decrease sedentary hours, to take breaks. That's to start with. The second is 30 to 60 minutes of moderate intensity activity every day. Take a walk, bike, whatever, something. But it's good to add something more a couple of times a week, where also strength training is included.
What role does stress play?
Stress, of course, affects lifestyle habits. We do not have the time, or we are in a sad mood, we forget to exercise, we eat in a bad way. So that's an indirect effect from stress, I should say. But also directly, because stress affects the levels of stress hormones, cortisol, and cortisol affects fat distribution. So in fact, stress promotes abdominal obesity.
How do you measure the benefits of physical activity? Professor Helenius believes you've got to measure the amount of fat inside your abdomen.
Women are often very worried about the handles, so to say, but that's not the most dangerous fat, it's the intra-abdominal fat. So we make use of a tape, the waist circumference.
And what are the markers or guidelines? What should people be aiming for?
Well, the waist circumference in a woman, not more than 88 centimeters, or 80. And in a man, not more than 102, and to be sure, less than 94 centimeters. So we have two kind of cutoff levels. But we also measure the height of the abdomen, this measure, so to say, because it captures the intra-abdominal fat. We found from 60-year-olds in Sweden that 22 centimeters in a man, not more, and in a woman 20. That's the cutoff limits.
Oh gosh, if you keep like this you will live until 110, 16 centimeters.
The researchers have found you can manipulate the length of the telomeres through physical activity. Now, they're not exactly sure how or why, but they're in the process of working out how stress, diet and exercise interact with each other and with telomere length, and what that means for your lifespan.
We have examples from a clinic, but there are also studies on people at the age of 80, 90, starting to doing exercise. And it's important to include strength training with amazing results, an increase in muscle strength with more than 100%. So it is true, it's never too late. It is possible to change lifestyle, but it takes a while, and we need support. Support from healthcare, support from family, friends, and also support from the society. But I think that we can counteract this obesity and the sedentary lifestyle. I think it's possible, and in fact, during the last years in Sweden, the increase in obesity is leveling off. So I'm optimistic.
So what's the take-home message for people watching?
It's never too late. Any increase in physical activity will help. It will increase the quality of life, and it will also prevent and treat, in fact, all chronic and common disease we have got today. It's a fantastic medicine.